Can we be successful without ever going through failure? Is it necessary to fall down, fail, and not achieve success at everything on our first attempt? In order to be resilient, we have to experience defeat, because success and failure are both equally important parts of life. Hi, I'm Danny Caballero, and on this Mindful Minutes segment, I want to remind you that failure is not only important, it's what makes us resilient. Hey guys, Danny here. I want to take today to talk about something we've talked about before, which is resiliency. A lot of times in life, probably for a good amount of our lives, we're going to be faced with situations where there's a lot at stake, where we can fail, and we're not guaranteed to get that mysterious, first time go. But I would argue that that's what we want. We want to be challenged. We want to be tested. We want to be in those positions where we do fail, because we don't grow in an environment where we have no obstacles. We don't grow in a place where we're not challenged, where we're not broken down, where we're not having to look at ourselves and say, man, I didn't pass. This sucks. Now, resilience doesn't mean that we sit in this place, in this setting of, well, everything's perfect. I'm not going to acknowledge the failure. I'm going to move on. We're just going to bypass it. We're not going to be sad. No, that's not. Every feeling, every emotion is valid. Things suck. It's okay. It's okay to get passed for promotion. It's okay to have that situation where, like for me, you don't get that true blue in EIB. You fail an event and you have to retest. That's life. But we learn from those events. In my career, in my life and service, everything wasn't always fucking rainbows and lollipops. There's a lot of failure. There's a lot of times where you look back and you say, fuck, man. Like, that sucked. But there's a lot of times I look back and I say, thank God I failed. Thank God I didn't get that opportunity. Thank God I didn't get that go. Because that led me to work harder for the next opportunity. Or it led me to reevaluate and figure out that, okay, I do want to do that. I might have failed. I might not have gotten it the first time go, but I'm going to reassess. I'm going to go back into it. And ultimately, it's not my voice that needs to be ringing in your head. And it's not my voice that you're going to recall when you're going through a hard time. That's not it. Only your voice can ring true in your head saying, hey, keep driving, keep pushing. I just want you to know that you're going to get it. You're going to overcome whatever obstacle you're facing, whatever challenges you're going through right now. You're going to overcome it. It's going to lead to great success. It's going to lead to an evolution in your thinking, in your adapting. This is what makes you work harder. And while if you're in the moment, if you're recently going through something and you're tested right now, my voice may not help you. Sit tight. Let me share some of my stories. Let me share some of the things I failed. And I'll share with you how I overcame them or how they changed me in the moment. I'm going to share with you places in my timeline where I failed, and I'm glad I failed. As a young soldier in the 82nd, the EIB was a super important thing for me to get. It was a very long training process, and it's all culminating in a week's worth of testing. Expert infantry badge is not easy, and neither is getting it with 100% goes. They call that true blue, and that's what I was focused on. Key right there. That was the only thing I was focused on. I wanted to earn my EIB with no issues. First time goes across the board. And of course, what do you think happened? I failed something. Call for fire lane. But I failed it in a really weird way. I went there, and the cadre was having a bad day and pretty much told me to F myself, which completely demoralized me and put me in a space of, well, I can't win. This guy literally didn't even listen to anything I said. He just handed me my grade sheet and told me to F off. And when you're met with that sort of force of, well, there's nothing I can do, what are you going to do? Part of me wanted to say, well, fuck this. I quit. I'm done. I'm not going to sit there and keep going back to this guy to get another no-go. What's that going to do? Nothing. I needed to go back there, retake that test, and sit in that lane and redo it again. Even if it meant going right back to that grader and having that same experience. Because I worked hard for it. And luckily, in the end, when I went back and I tested, he laughed at me because I could tell that he did it on purpose. He just wanted to give somebody a no-go for the first time. He saw that I had nothing but goes and decided that he was going to have fun on my expense and stress me out. Because there's no such thing. There's no true value in standing there and saying you got first time goes on everything. EIB is EIB. You earn it. You earn it. And I was too focused, and I feel like that was the universe telling me, like, okay, kid, let's rattle you. Let's see what happens. And it did. And when I went to the back of that line, I thought to myself, like, well, now I can't get true blue. For a split second, for a few moments, I sat there and I was wallowing in that defeat. And I said to myself, well, I mean, it's not worth it now. Are you kidding me? Of course it's fucking worth it. You worked your ass off to train for this. Go get your EIB. I'm glad I did. And I'm glad I went back and did the same lane with the same instructor and got that go. Years later, I would realize that, yeah, sometimes an instructor is going to be having a bad mood and wants to give you a no-go, because at the end of the day, you still got another shot at it. And it's not that hard. But I could have quit. I could have gave up and just walked away and been sad. But I'm glad I didn't. So never give up. Yeah, it sucks not being able to go through something and say you're perfect or get the right answers to that test the first time. Go back and take it again. Study, practice. Go back and earn your EIB. The STAR course. If you've ever looked into what it takes to become a Green Beret, if ever thought about going to the Q course, you've heard of the STAR course. It's really hard land nav in North Carolina in what I believe is the most god-awful place on earth in terms of environment. The woods out there, the draws, just the swamp, it's miserable. But it's the best place to learn land nav. And as a young kid in 82nd, going to selection, I was not ready for it. I had skills, but they weren't the best skills. What it did have was a lot of confidence and a lot of drive. And that was quickly removed during the first night of the STAR course. I was lost. I lost my map, lost my compass. And at various points, I lost all will to live. So, of course, the first night, I only get like 2 of my points. And that's nowhere near the minimum. And here I am, one of the last few people to get brought in. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm not going to make it. Look at all these people. All these people here made it. That wasn't the truth. Only about 10 or 12 people made it with the first time go. Everybody else had either quit or came in later or earlier on at night. Except in my mind, I told myself all these people had gone. They've all gotten goes, so I can't pass it. And I sat in that self-defeat for a little bit. And I realized, again, what's the objective? The objective is to pass selection. And yeah, I got to pass the STAR course for that, but I have another shot. I have another shot at the STAR course tonight. Let's focus on that. It's not over. But for a split second there, I was telling myself that it was over. All this adversity, all this pain and misery and land nav, I was telling myself for the moment that it was all over. No, you failed. Denny, you failed. You failed the STAR course, but so did Bobby, Jimmy, Steve, all these other guys right there next to you. Start figuring out what you need to do to be successful in this test. So that's what I did. And everybody else that was successful that second night did the same thing. You start doing that inventory of things that didn't go right, things that you didn't do right or execute correctly, and you start putting together your game plan. The moment you've overcome that feeling of, low self-worth and overcome that, the sadness and defeatist attitude, start working. Allow yourself to process it. Allow yourself to grieve it, but get to work. And I'm glad I did, because that next night, threw on my boots, double checked everything, made sure I had everything dummy corded to me, and off I went into the wilds of North Carolina to get my go. Now, Stackline Jump Master is a very important course. That's where you learn how to properly inspect and rig jumpers for airborne operations. And for me, it was my first school as a brand new Green Beret. I couldn't fail. There was absolutely no way I could fail. Wrong mindset. I focused too much on failure, what it would mean to fail, what it would mean if I didn't succeed the course. I didn't focus on the positive. I focused on the negative. And sure enough, by the time the JMPI exercise came around for test, I was failing every opportunity. And it wasn't because I wasn't properly trained. It wasn't because I wasn't practicing enough. It was because I had let myself be completely absorbed in the fear of failure, completely absorbed in the idea that I'm not gonna make it. I'm not gonna make it. Well, don't go into a testing scenario. Don't go into a scenario thinking that you're not gonna make it and you don't have what it takes. That's a proven recipe for failure. Instead, pause. Focus on what you did wrong. Focus on everything that you need to do to ensure you get there. And even if you do fail, even if you fail each attempt, go into the next attempt ready to succeed. It's one of the hardest schools out there, bar none. And it's not uncommon for people to go back to that course, 2-3 times. If I would have gone through from day one with the mindset of I'm here to succeed, I'm here to learn, and I'm not here to be devoured by my stress, I guarantee my JMPI testing would have been a lot better. But I was too focused on the negative. I was too focused on all the wrong things that could happen. And then give myself that opportunity to visualize success. So I challenge you. If you're going through a course, a military course or civilian school, and that's academically hard and there's a lot of tests, don't focus on the negative right away. Actually be positive and be focused on what you need to learn in order to succeed. And if you do fail, if you do have to go back and retake a test or retake a class, that's okay. That's part of the process. You want that bad enough? You want to be in that course? You want to earn that degree or earn that certificate? Go back. Set that in your bullseye and keep going. Failure is part of the process. Don't let it be the ending point. Yeah, some things in life we'll go through and it doesn't pan out and we realize it's not for us. But if it's for you, keep going. Keep fighting for it. Lastly, I want to share with you the number one time that I failed in my career. And that's arguably my greatest failure, was not paying attention to my mental health. Not taking care of my own body, not taking care of my own mind, not taking care of me. That was my greatest failure. And I wouldn't be who I am today. I wouldn't be here
without that failure. I'm glad that I was able to go through that journey. Now, yeah, there's a lot of dangerous things and a lot of horrible things that were involved with that. But I got through it. And I can't look at life right now and what I have and everything that I've been able to build and develop. I can't look back at that career and all that pain and all that trauma and say, man, I wish I would never gone through it. We're shaped by everything. And I'm glad I endured through all the challenges. And I'm glad I went through everything. And I'm glad I failed through all that. Because now I'm here on the backside of it. Now I'm here, I'm able to look back and say, man, I can really help a lot of people by talking about all this stuff. By being able to go through that and look back on my life and realize, man, there's so many times I should have asked for help. Okay? Now I have a blueprint. I'll have a blueprint to share with everybody that's going through the struggles. Because we don't learn from people that aren't challenged or have failed. The greatest minds, the greatest people, all the people we admire, all the great thinkers, they failed nonstop. That's all they've done. They kept going. They kept working. And that's why I'm glad I failed at all these different things and more, because this is just the list of things that I'm able to share in these few minutes with you. The true list is, it's endless. Just like it is for you. But I challenge you to see all that failure and see it as things that you're grateful for, things that changed you and helped you develop, so you can be grateful for all the great things you have. Because even though my list of failures is long, my list of success is even longer. And it's because those failures are there to have taught me and to have shaped me. Don't let obstacles and challenges deter you from your path. If you know in your heart that you want to do something, it might take you a little longer than other people. But so be it. Dreams are worth fighting for. It's worth sticking to it. Keep pushing. Resilience isn't about having a perfect, easy life. Resilience is about getting knocked down and getting back up. There's beauty in the fight. There's beauty in the struggle. Nobody wants an easy life. Look at every celebrity that everybody admires right now on TV. Arguably, they've all struggled with a lot of mental health issues and drugs and alcohol. What does that lead you to believe? That maybe having everything isn't the key to success. Maybe having a beautiful struggle and working hard in life, maybe that's the true key to success. Finding challenges, overcoming them, understanding that, in life, the way through obstacles is just that, through them. Break through your obstacles, break through the things that are challenging you, and understand that some of those obstacles, you're going to fail at them. But get right back up and get right back at it. Until next time, take care.